Hi, Julia Watts here. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to do a journal page in this demonstration using Very Hug stamps mainly, and as you can see, I've got something laid out already. So I've made a bit of a start on here. So I was going to do it, and I thought, oh, I might as well record it and show you the process. So I've just got a piece of Sentimentally Yours watercolour card here, the super smooth, so it's great for stamping on. It takes lots of water and ink. And what I've done is it's already, I'm going to use the other side for something else. So I'd already cut it out, and this is the back, and I've used one of the Studio Light essential dies, the planner dies, and I've used this one and this one, not that one, this one, I think, no, one of these, that one, to cut a wavy edge of a journal page, and this one cuts out my holes. Then this will go into the Studio Light planners. I'm hoping to get some of those in stock at some point. And then what I did was I stamped on the back with the Sentimentally Yours Big Backgrounds. This is the blank journal page, and I stamped with Morning Mist Versifying Clair. And it's a little bit wonky, but I'm hoping when I stamp over the top I'll sort that out. My lines aren't 100% straight, but they are on the other side, which I'll do in another video. So that's my basis, and then I've also gone over the top and I've inked most of it with Kitsch Flamingo Distress ink, and then I've inked through the Fairy Swirls Fairy Hug stencil with a bit of picked raspberry. So that's where I'm up to, and I've had a think, and I've planned my page, and I think I know where we're going. So the idea is that we're going to take the Fairy Hugs Fairy Couple, and they're going to be sitting outside the magical keyhole. So I'm going to stamp them first, and I'm going to mask them off. Then I'm going to stamp the keyhole on top, obviously, and then I'm going to mask this as well. So obviously I'm planning, I know what other bits and pieces I want on there. So we're going to have them just over a little bit. I think we're going to have them about there. I've got to remember that I'm not 100% straight, but we'll try and work around this. The principle will be correct anyway. So let's go into our stamping platform. And I warn you, this may be quite a long video. I won't actually colour in. I'll colour in afterwards. So you can, of course, you can pause and you can come back to it. Move these magnets out of the way. Right. And I'm in the Crafts to Press to Impress, which is available on my website. My website's juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and I ship to addresses within the UK. So let's stamp this first. And these stamps, or most of the stamps I'm using, are part of the so I've cleaned my stamp, it's a bit sticky, are part of the January release from Fairy Hugs, and I currently have most of them in stock on my website for immediate dispatch. The next, there is a small release from Fairy Hugs in February, and the next big release is beginning of March, I believe. All new stamps. So I'm using Versifying Clair. This is Nocturne, and it's the black one. Nice juicy ink pad. As always, I'm very messy. Just clean up a little bit. And Versifying Clair's, it stays open quite a long time, so it stays wet quite a long time, so it means that if you want to, you can add embossing powder on top. It's also part of the Versifying family from Zucchinico, so it's really good for your detailed stamps. So give it a good old press. I know this is going to move, so it's going to drive me nuts because I've just cleaned my stamp. Oh no, I got away with it. I'm glad I cleaned my stamp actually, because I was having troubles stamping it, and it just needed a really good clean. Well, as clean as I ever do. You do normally need to do silhouette stamps 2 to 3 times to get a really good deep black or whatever colour you're using. Press and up they come. There we are. Absolutely perfect. Dab them off a bit so I don't get too inky. So that's my fairy couple. Then we're going to mask them off. And I've used some Woodwear Masket tape, masket sheets rather, which again are available on my website. And I do tend to keep them on the carrier sheet if I can, because they do tend to last a little bit longer. Let's see. And you want, when you cut them out, you want to cut them out ever so slightly inside the line. Obviously I haven't bothered with his oh, what are they called, those kind of finial kind of, these little bits, you don't need to bother with those because those are just single lines. So that's that. Then we're going to bring in our keyhole, magical keyhole. And this is how I store my stamps. I cut the top off the packaging, write the number and what it is, and then they're all stored in number order. I find it easier to find them that way. You could do them in alphabetical order if you wanted to. You might find it easier that way. But obviously, if you keep them in numerical order, it means that they're normally in collection order. Of course, all the collections work really well together. So we're going to have it, I think, so that, see, they're just going to sit in there like so. Faff, 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 faff. Okay. And we're going to again stamp this. We're sticking with the Nocturne with the black. Beauty of clear stamps is you can see where they're going. They are manufactured in the US because it's Fairy Hugs is an American company. It is deeply etched, high quality photopolymer stamps that you're dealing with here. So providing you treat them well, they're going to last you a lifetime. And I know lots of my customers are real collectors of this range now. I'm going to go again because it's a little bit light around there and I want to make sure I get all that detail in. I do find using Fairy Hug stamps really relaxing. You just lose yourself in the magical story that you're telling. There we go. Okay, and that's that. That's my next layer. Do take care when you take your stamps off of your block or your platform that you don't tear them. They are, like I say, they are very good quality, but you just want to take a little bit of care. Now, where's my mask? Put it down somewhere. There it is. Messy desk. Again, keep this on the carrier sheet. So I've actually got two masks like this. I've got one that's like an inner, and then I've got this outer one as well, because you know you use them for different reasons. So yeah, they're not sticky, so they're just like low tack. So we're going to pop this around our fairy couple like so. And again, I've cut it ever so slightly just on the inside. Like that. Doesn't matter whether his head's in or out, because I'm mainly dealing with the top section now. So we're going to have a little bit of let's see. Let's add a little bit of blue ink, which I didn't get out. Let's have a little bit of broken china around the top. We've got a blue sky. And you see, when I inked through my stencil, I knew that this was the area that I wanted to put my keyhole. So I haven't actually stenciled in the centre there. My broken china needs re-inking. You do tend to see more of the colour, obviously, when you take your mask off. Build it up. I'm not very patient, but it's building up now. I do quite like the Sentimentally Yours vintage journal page on the back. There's a music page and a map page, and there's a ledger page. There's all different pages, and they make really good, cool backgrounds for putting your stamping onto. And then just here, we're going to add a little bit of green. Once again, I neglected to get my green ink pad out. There it is. Let's have a bit of Rustic Wilderness. And we go for a smaller one of the Craft Artist brushes. So we're just going to go just about here. Okay. So a little bit of green and a little bit of blue. And now we're going to bring in some more stamps. We've got the mini castle. So the mini castle is going to sit in there like so. And there's a number of other things that you can put in here. You can also put in the flying dragon. We can also have, there's clouds as well. I'm going to bring in, wherever I put them, the smaller of the full moons. And I'm just going to have it just coming in just to there like so. The full moons is one of the earlier Fairy Hug stamps. It's number 53. Yeah, from quite a while ago. All the collections will build and work together. I mean, obviously some of the Christmas ones you won't use all year round. Some of the Halloween ones you might not use all year round. But obviously there are still stamps within those collections that you can use all the time. So, such a messy stamper. Right, so this is going to go in the centre. Good old press. See where we're at. Let's have them a little bit darker, just so that it actually reflects the darkness of all my other stamping. Okay, there we go. So those are they. One more little bit of stamping before we remove the masks. Back on there before I lose my carrier sheet. So we need a pathway. We need something to merge those two areas together. So I'm going to use the stone walkway. You can also use the Path of Knowledge if you're doing kind of a book themed make. But we're going to go for the stone walkway. It starts off quite small and gets bigger, as you'd expect because of perspective. So we can pop that just coming away from there like so. Add a bit of ink to that. think we'll just leave that one as it is. And then we come for removing the mask, and it's always the kind of fun thing, taking the masks away. So I'm just putting my stamps away. Right, let's move that for now. I do want that one there still. So this one went on first. So this one's coming off on second, so it's coming off first. So you can see that's much darker than it first looked, the inking there. And then we can take our mask off from our fairy couple. And obviously when I colour all that in, you'll be able to see the difference between them. But I'll just break the video slightly when I colour in, and then I'll show you the fully coloured in version at the end. So obviously now that's just sitting floating in the middle of the air, and that there's nothing going on there. So let's take this out of here and let's add some more interest down at the bottom. Let's take a spare piece of paper so we don't make too much of a mess, and we're going to bring in our roses stamp. So this set again is from the latest release. As you can see, you've got one large rose and one small rose, and this is just, you can make really simple cards with this, and it just adds to your make, and it's a really lovely image. It's similar to the poinsettia image that we had in the Christmas release, in that there's cross-hatch detail, which helps you with the shading. So in fact you don't need to do a lot of shading at all, because it does the job for you. So I'm just going to stamp it onto this piece of copy paper first, just to make sure that I'm nicely lubricated my stamp. I've made this mistake before. I've gone straight onto my work and then realised that my ink wasn't actually as juicy as it needed to be. But of course that's perfect, isn't it? Because I've said that it might not be. Always the way, always the way. So let's add some roses down the bottom. Let's hope this is inked as well as the first one. So because I've already done my kind of background in you know, my journal page in the the Morning Mist, that's great. And my black is going to be nice and prominent on top of that. It really kind of adds to it, I feel. So we can add another one down here, and we can see exactly where we're going, because obviously it's a clear stamp. I've got a leaf in there. I didn't really want a leaf in there, but hey ho, let's work around it. You can see why I put the paper down, so I don't have to clear up. So I'm not the biggest fan of cleaning. Let's work around that there, like so. Okay, that works, doesn't it? And because we're not very even at the top, let's bring some roses at the top as well, but not fully, just around the corner. And hopefully this will help disguise the fact that my page is a bit on the wonk. So let's bring in my corner one that I want here, first of all. And we'll bring in fact, let's get the little one out actually. Let's get a smaller block. Let's bring the smaller one in. I mean, that ink that I've got on my stamp, you know, if I think about it, I could stamp it off onto another card rather than waste it. Let's just check we're all right with this one. And let's bring in the small one just down here. And we'll bring in a small one just on this corner here. roses. So already now because we've framed the page with some roses, it's already really taking shape. Obviously it's not coloured in yet. So let's go back into our platform and add a little bit more to it. Now we've done the off the page bits. Let me move my roses out of the way. Okay. Think about what we want and where we want it. Right, so let's bring in some lovebirds. And we can have one sat down there, and then this one up here. Make sure they're actually sitting on the rose rather than floating. I think it's on the rose, yeah. Okay, so that's those. So let's pick those up right away so we know what we're doing. And it's always nice to have a sentiment on page. That's going to be crowded down there, but we can pop it up here. So this says sending fairy hugs, and the font is, I think, quite Harry Potter-ish. And because it's a bit of a mixed size font, and it's all higgledy-piggledy, I think it will go well with the fact that my blank journal page isn't actually stamped straight either. So let's have those up there like so. And back to the black again. Obviously all of this could be done with an acrylic block, but you just need to remember that you need to really ink very well with silhouette stamps. And also because your stamping platform is a good fixer of any bad stamping, really. I always said, what do I want one of those for? Why would I want a stamping platform? And now really I wouldn't be without it at all. And these sheets are very good as well for when you're stamping off the page within your platform, because it means that your actual foam at the underneath stays nice and clean. Okay, so there we go. There's our sending fairy hugs and our two lovebirds. Now I don't think we're almost here, almost there. We've got two sets of condo dwellers, and I know many of you have got the condo dwellers, and they are such fun little stamps to just add to your work, and they kind of fill in any blanks. Now I did intend, I might change my mind now, put that sentiment on there. I did intend to put this on here, and it was going to go further up. It was going to go around like that, and because now I've stamped my sentiment planning, Julia, it's not going to work, is it? These are your Entangled Hearts, I think it's called. This is this one, and I've actually cut the bottom kind of one off and the little swirly bit, and I've stamped and embossed these, and I've coloured them in using some Studio Light little dewdrop ink pads. So I've used this little metallic one, and I've used one of the pink ones as well, and because of the metallic, that's why I embossed it, because the emboss line will keep my image nice and clear. Now I'm not sure about that, whether I'll use that or not, but once I've coloured in I'll decide, but bearing in mind that I might use it, I think we'll bring in just a couple of the little condo dwellers. This is Condo Dwellers 2. You get 6 stamps in Condo Dwellers 2. So I think we'll perhaps bring in a little Condo Dweller there. Oh, I know what we might do as well. And we'll have perhaps a little condo dweller stood just on the edge there of our rose. And let's see, I think that's all we might do. We might just do the 2, because if I have any more, it's going to be just too busy, isn't it? So let's just have the 2. Out of the way. Ink, what to do with it? There it is. Again, this is what your stamping platform's great for, to, you know, figure out where you want things to stand. Okay, they're fine as they are. So just fetch these off, and we'll do one more thing before I start to colour in. And there's up there. And we're going to just move this over ever so slightly in our platform. And we've got a set called Sewn Hearts. That's this one. And we can have these so they could be flying out of her foot. So it's like a little trail. They're great for bee trails as well, these little hearts. And also good for underlining sentiments. I mean, I was going to underline that sentiment, but it's a bit far up for me to do that. And the this set's good for that. Where is it? This one. Your heart vines. This one's really good for underlining things. So you can see, you can really go to town and have lots of fun. Obviously, the more stamps you've got to choose from, the more variations you're going to have, and the more you're going to be able to fill in any little gaps that you want to, you know, make look not so gappy. So now we've got that coming from her foot. So that's where we're at. I'm going to colour in. So I'll just pause now and I'll restart the video and show you what it looks like when it's all coloured in. Okay, so I'm all coloured in now. I've used Sentimentally Yours watercolour blending brush pens, and you can see I've been doing colour swatches, figuring out which ones to use. So I've used some pens from sets 2, 3 and 4. So a grey from set 2 and a grey from set 3. Blue for, I thought Blue Moon, whatever colour moon you want, from set 2. And then a pink and 2 purples from set 4. So set 4, those are the purples, and then I've got the pink from set 2 and the pink from set 4, which I've used on the roses and on the this fairy here. So I'm still unsure as to what to do with the hearts. I think I'm going to use them up. I think I am going to pop them on there. But I also thought that, I mean, really, I wish that if I'd remembered about the hearts, I wish I'd have put the moon on this side, and then it would have been more balanced. So to balance it up, we're going to use a little tiny bit of sparkle dust. Let's see if I can stamp these straight. This could be where I ruin the whole thing, as per usual, but we'll see. It's always when you've got something that's finished, it's always a bit of a kind of gamble to add to it. So let's just see how those would look. Yeah, they're always perfect on my scrap piece of card because I'm not that good at doing straight. Let's have them there. There we go. So yeah, I like that. I think that balances it up quite nicely. So let's just glue my hearts in place. Remember, these are from your Entangled Hearts. I never got to use them on one of my demonstrations on the craft store, so it'd be nice to not have them floating around getting lost. I don't want to put it in his head, and I don't want to be over my sentiment either, so there's a lot to kind of consider here. Okay, I think that's good. Then one final thing, because it is a journal page and it's going to go in my journal, we'll add some reinforcers. Now these are from various different Studio Light sets that I've got. I think we'll want black, and I have got double-sided adhesive on all of these. Let's see, black. I don't want the splots. Oh, well, let's have some hearts. Definitely have hearts because that's the theme that we're dealing with. There's a black one. They don't always have to be the same. In fact, these won't all be the same. And we can also go for, there's a couple of just normal circles there. Got some wraparound ones as well. Got all sorts in here. I haven't got any black ones of those. So let's go for, let's go for a couple of flowers as well. We've got those in black as well. And obviously these are going to just make sure that everything's reinforced, but they just add an extra little bit to your journal page as well. What do I do with my tweezers? I'll be doing them without tweezers at this rate. There they are. Right, so obviously that you want to do this before you do any stamping, because you're going to cover up a little bit of stamping with this. So let's have a heart there. And let's have, because we've got the tail of our lovebird there, let's have one of the circular ones here. I'm hoping that my dies arrive soon. My stock of dies. I need to chase them again. And there's a little flower down the bottom. Like so. And then we'll add them. Let's add them in reverse up here. So we can have a heart at the bottom again. It's always good to have a load of these cut out with it's got adhesive on the back. I use the Elizabeth Craft Designs adhesive. I think it's the best one for your die cutting, personally. When you want to adhere things anyway. If you're just cutting it so that you want to add glitter or something to the top, then a lot of them are quite handy. But there we go. So there we go. That's all finished now. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and you've taken a little bit of inspiration from it. Do like and comment if you can. That would be wonderful. And remember, there's lots and lots of YouTube videos available on my channel for you to watch. And if you subscribe, then you'll get notified when there are some new ones loaded in future. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.